everybody, it's Kev McNamara here. Welcome to the Inspired Healing Podcast. Today I've got a very special guest for you, Oscar Gullbrandsen from the band U137. This man makes some of the most beautiful music in the world. No kidding. He comes from Sweden, and I think people who are born and raised in the Nordic countries have this wonderful connection with nature and music, and certainly it comes through in the music of U137, Oscar's band. The debut album, Dreamer on the Run, he made with his best friend Adam Tornblad, and is just the most beautiful album. Now, tragically, Oscar's best friend Adam died suddenly in May 2017. And in today's podcast, Oscar talks emotionally about his friend Adam, their connection with music, his life growing up in Sweden, how he coped with losing his best friend, where his music is now, his inspiration, and where it's taking him. And as a real bonus, I get to play the song that Oscar wrote as a tribute to Adam towards the end of this interview. The song is called Adam Forever. You are going to love it. It is just the most beautiful music to listen to. So please check out 137's music on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Anywhere good music is played, you'll find U137. And I'll have all the links to Oscar's social media down below in the show notes. And if you enjoy this podcast, it would mean a lot to me if you could please subscribe so you can be alerted every time we upload a new podcast, which is every day. Thank you, I really appreciate that. And please support those who support us. Immune Support is a supplement that really helps your immune system stay healthy during these chaotic, crazy times that we live in. And Provan is quite possibly one of the world's very best natural weight loss supplements. The links to these life-enhancing supplements are all below in the show notes. And with that, I give you the amazing, the mighty, the dreamer on the run himself, Oscar Gullbrandsen from U137. Enjoy. Okay, Oscar from U137. It's just fantastic to have you on the show. Welcome to Australia, in a way. Thanks
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure, mate. I've been a big fan of your music for a long time, for probably 3 or 4 years now. And whenever I go out running, I just put the earbuds in, and I've got one of your albums on. I just love the music, and it's just a real honour to have you here on the show. So thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. Glad to hear.
For those people who don't know you, Oscar, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, where you were born, your upbringing, your family, that kind of thing?
Yeah, sure. I was born in a town called Borås. It's close to a big town called Gothenburg in Sweden. Okay. I grew up in a pretty quiet neighborhood with my mom and dad, my 2 brothers, one older, one younger brother. Actually, the same neighborhood that I grew up was the same neighborhood my good friend Adam grew up, the guy that I later on started U137 together with.
Yeah.
So it was pretty calm, pretty calm situation going on in the neighborhood. Nothing really special.
And what about school? What were you like at school?
Oh, I was the clown of the class. I never really liked school. I didn't do my homeworks. I just ran around, joking around, and that kind of guy.
And what about your parents? What sort of work did they do? Did they both work, or just your dad worked? Or?
Yeah, my mom, she were in just administration, simple stuff, and my dad was working away from home pretty much all the time, so he wasn't at home that much. He was I don't know the English name for it, but like a seller. He sold stuff pretty much.
Okay, like a salesman sort of thing.
Salesman, yes, a salesman. Yeah. So he was a salesman traveling. So
okay.
So it was pretty much me, my brothers, and my mom most of the time at home.
Yeah, right. And were you sort of a sporty person, or you're more?
No, not really. I tried football or soccer, but it was fun for like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I was just out like skateboarding and such growing up. So not too many sports. Yeah.
And were you very sort of studious? Were you a good student, or you just didn't really care?
I just really, I just didn't care that much. When I've worked with something that I find interesting, I do very well. But stuff that doesn't interest me that much, yeah, I just do what I really have to do and nothing more.
Yeah, it sounds like me actually. Yeah, if I'm
Yeah.
interested in it, I have to have a real
Yeah.
interest in it, and I'll be doing it all day. But if I'm not, well, I soon lose interest. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you learn music at school? Is that where the music came in, or were your parents musically inclined? Or
Actually, nobody in my family has ever played an instrument or something like that. So it's and there are no artists in the family as well. So it's just me, and I'm pretty much self-taught. I didn't discover the instruments in school. It was actually from my neighbor, Adam, once again, who I grew up with. He's from a family where there are a lot of musicians. So they had drums and they had guitars at home. So yeah, that's how I learned to play the drums and guitar.
Yeah, wow. And what age were you when you first started learning?
Oh, I think I was about 8 years old. I got my first drum set when I was 8 years old, and a couple of years later, I discovered that I wanted to play the guitar because I was a huge fan of. Do you know the band Blink-182?
I do, yes.
Yeah, back in 1999, they released an album called Enema of the State with a huge hit called All the Small Things. And when they released that, I knew that I wanted to be exactly like the guitarist Tom DeLonge. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so when I was about 9-10 years old, I got my first guitar.
Yeah. Is it Blink-182 that sing, is it Miss You? Is that one of their songs?
I Miss You, yeah. Beautiful song. Yeah.
I love that song, yeah, it's a great song.
Me too.
Sure, wow. Okay, so you're getting into the music, and so when did you first meet Adam? Was that at school or?
No, actually, we moved to this neighborhood when I was 2 years old, I think, and my parents started hanging out with the neighbors and who were Adam's parents. And Adam is pretty much the same age as me, 1 year older. So we started hanging out really, really early. So we knew each other for his whole life, pretty much.
Yeah, right. Wow. That's fantastic. Yeah. Can you just tell us a bit more about the relationship, how it sort of moved musically? Obviously, you learn a lot of music off of him, I guess. And what kind of person was Adam as far as a friend goes? How would you describe him?
He's a very kind guy. He had a lot of humor. Always making funny stuff, making fun of people he knew, of course, nothing bad. And so a lot of humor, a lot of pranking, really, really funny guy. And he was the one that taught me to play all the small things on the guitar when I just got my first guitar. So It started from there, and then we started to play in the same band when we were about 14, 15 years old. So it was a band called Moonlit Sailor, and from there on we started to play live gigs. We later on went to Europe and China, and so we did some great stuff with that band. That's pretty much how it evolved.
Yeah, right. Okay. And what age were you both? You went from Moonlit Sailor into U137.
I was about 22. I was turning 23. It was back in 2013. Adam had just broke up with his girlfriend, and I let him stay at my one-bedroom apartment. and he had this home studio equipment, which I never had. So we just started making new melodies, and we we moved to a more cinematic genre than what we did with Mullet Sailors. So we thought maybe we should just make something else with this material. So we just started this project and we named it U137. So we released the first album later on, 2013.
Yeah. And U137, that was the name of the submarine, is that right?
Yeah, it's the name of a Russian submarine stranded in Sweden. Pretty embarrassing story for Russia, but we just wanted a short name, and we also thought that it would be cool with some numbers. Again, that's from Blink-182, from when we were younger. So we wanted something short and with numbers. And so his dad actually said, oh, maybe you can use U137. And we're like, yeah, sounds cool. Let's do it.
So it all makes sense now. Blink-182 and U137.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great story. I love that. Fantastic,
man. Cool. Yeah, it's
and
funny.
And then, of course, sadly, back in it was May 2017, I believe.
Yeah.
Adam passed away. That must have been really tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the worst thing ever. I feel now I'm getting a bit emotional talking about it. I didn't think I was going to be that bad. It was super, super tough. You know, the first week I was just in like a state of shock or something like that. Yeah. Like the day after I got the news that he passed away, I went straight to work like every other single day. And I went into my office, and as soon as I stepped into my office, just broke down, lying down on the floor crying. It was so surreal feeling.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after like a week or so, then came the feeling of guilt and what could I have done differently to prevent it, and stuff like that. And that was also a really tough period to handle.
Yes.
But I was surrounded by my family and my girlfriend, and they really took care of me. And,
Oh, right. Yeah. I lost a daughter, and so I totally understand what you're talking about. And it's just, and I was, I couldn't actually cry for about 3 months. I just could not. It's like my whole body just shut down, and it's just the worst thing. So I totally get what you're saying there, Oscar, for sure. And you know, we can get stuck in our grief. Is there one sort of practice or one sort of habit that helped you most during that time?
Absolutely. You know, music for me, or creating music for me, is it's all about letting my feelings pretty much flow through my fingers, if you know what I mean, like onto the piano. Like that's the way the best way I know to express myself, pretty much. And so after a couple of weeks, I started to mornings passing by playing the piano, playing the guitar, and then the melodies came to me, and that's how Adam Forever, the song, was born. I wrote it in the middle of that time.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just a beautiful song, and I know when I first heard about Adam, and I heard Adam Forever, and I was sort of out running, and I had some tears in my eyes myself. I can tell you, it was just such a beautiful song, and just knowing what had happened, it just you had that way of just your music just really infiltrates people's emotions, and I think it's just amazing. So I do love that song, I've got to say. So you did a magnificent.
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear it.
Yeah, fantastic. So, mate, look, there's people all around the world that I guess who have been through what you've been through, and some people are going through it now, and you're still going through it. That kind of thing never leaves you; it's always there. What sort of advice would you give to people who are this may have just happened to them and they're listening to this particular podcast, what would you say to them?
Well, it's hard, but
tough question, I know.
Yeah, it's a really tough one. But for me, I think the best way to deal with this stuff is to embrace the emotions. Like just let it happen and cry as much as you want, shout as much as you want. And even if you have like a song that you relate to, this person you lost or something like that, listen to it. And for me, I like to amplify the feelings, so to speak, if you... Yep. And for me, that has been the easiest way to deal with it, rather than like just shut down or close that kind of door to those emotions. I think the best way is just to let it flow through.
Yeah. I think that's, I totally concur with that. Music is just such a great thing to, it's a very emotional thing, and it's when you lose someone, it's very emotional, and just to connect those two together is, and just, as you say, just let it all out, let it all come out, and there is, I mean, life goes on, as you know.
And it has to go on.
Yeah. Just getting into your music a little bit. I know obviously Blink, Blink 182 have been a big influence on you. What other bands have been you sort of fans of that you really like?
I do love the band Sigur Rós. It's a band from Iceland, and they are a bit more the same genre as U137. But I listen to a lot of music, all from hip hop to pop, some rock. So my spectra is pretty broad, so to speak. So I tend to listen to many different artists. I don't have that much favorite picks. It depends totally on the mood. But Okay. Sigur Rós would be the band I would totally recommend for other people to listen to.
I'll check them out. Absolutely.
Yeah, you should.
And what have you heard of? I'm guessing you have, because they're from Sweden as well. Lights in Motion. Do you know those guys?
We're on the same record label.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He lives like 45 minutes from me. So we're pretty much from the same area in Sweden.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. And you like his stuff?
Yeah. He's a very talented guy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Fantastic. And the question I wanted to ask you for a while, is there a little bit of kind of U2 influence in your music at all? Because sometimes I hear a bit of a riff from the there. I just love it.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it's a little bit from that, and what I think also you are hearing is a bit from a band called Angels and Airwaves that are very influenced by U2, and especially with the delay effect on the guitars goes like diggy diggy diggy, that kind of ping pong delay. That was very unique for U2, and that is something I use a lot on my songs as well. So.
Okay, so Angels and Airwaves.
Yeah.
I'll check them out. Absolutely.
Yeah, you should.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, what kind of? Actually, I'll go to the Dreamer on the Run with you and Adam. That was your debut album. Both sit down together and just sort of plan that. How did the whole thing look? All the songs come together? Actually,
just jamming in my one bedroom apartment. That's how we created that. It was so low budget record. So really, we made everything by ourselves in our tiny apartment.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, and you just do it all yourself, all the drums, guitar, the whole box and dice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Wow. And what about, because it is music that you're making, how do you come up with the names for the songs? Is it just something that a vision you have, or?
Exactly. Often it's like I start to make a song, and maybe in the middle of the process I feel something. Maybe I feel maybe I feel something with love, or something more action like. So I just use a word that relates to that feeling, or maybe I have a vision like a song called Fields of Heather. It's just a picture in my head of a big field with those beautiful flowers called heather.
Yeah. Wow. Like it sounds so simple and yet just sounds so amazing.
Yeah, but sometimes also, also I can come up with like a word and then create a song around it also.
Okay.
So yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes I feel something and then I want to create like a soundtrack to that feeling. And those times I sometimes know the name of the song before I know how it will sound.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorites, actually, I think the first song of yours that I ever heard was Sliding Doors. I just love that song, man. It's just
Oh, cool.
Something about that. I just guitar, it just I heard it, I think it was on Spotify, and I thought, who is this band? I just love this music. It's just great. And then
cool.
I discovered more and more. So and another favorite of mine, just while I'm in that sort of mood, is the Nostalgic Tune. It's only a short one, but I just really like that sound. It's just fantastic. So
yeah, I love that song too. It's a good one.
So now your music is getting more popular. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that are learning more and more about you and your music, and you're getting some companies over in the US who are doing making some ads out of or using your music for some of their ads, which is fantastic. Yeah. Is there any more of those in the horizon? Anything out there as far as that kind of thing goes? Is there much interest from other companies?
Actually, I'm not. I don't know because I get like emails from my record label after they've done a deal or something like that. So I don't know what's the future has to to bring, but yeah, I guess it will keep coming.
Yeah.
Some licensing deals with the companies and such. Yeah.
And with Deep Elm Records, do you have much say in what you actually do, or is it all sort of looked after by them?
Well, the creative process is all about me. I do exactly what I want to do creatively. But when I release an album, of course, it's the record label that owns the rights for it. So they choose where the music should be heard and what companies that can buy the song or stuff like that. So so they take care of the business part.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And with Chapter 2, you wrote that. Obviously, that's all your own kind of stuff. Was it tough doing it by yourself?
Well, both yes and no. I do love to work by myself. I do enjoy it. But of course, Chapter 2 was really emotional to write because of Adam. And Chapter 2, the name Chapter 2 is a symbol of a new chapter. And ending the album with the song Adam Forever. Yeah. This record is actually totally about him and his family. For me, so very emotional, but still okay to work by myself.
Beautiful. And you got Chapter 3, you're working on that now?
I don't know if I will call it Chapter 3. I do think I have the name for the new album, but I'm waiting to drop that.
Beautiful. And is that sort of far off, do you think, the actual album?
If it's far off, like you mean different kind of sound, or
is it far off sort of being released to the public?
Yeah, I don't know really. Maybe like 6 months or something like that. Yeah, these things takes more time than you think. To make it perfect. Yeah.
Okay. And what's chapter 3? What's the sort of theme for that? Have you got a theme for that, or is it?
I do have a theme, and the theme for it is to pretty much amplify your imagination. So it's all about imagination. Try to go to places like beyond our horizons, you know?
Yep. Totally.
So it's total about using the imagination and have the album as a soundtrack to amplify the feelings or visions. Yeah.
Mate, I love it.
Cool.
I can see myself just out running in the mornings and through the parks in the dark and just having that on and just my imagination going wild. So I look forward to it.
Cool.
That'll be amazing. Okay, so where do you see yourself in 12 months? Oscar, what do you see yourself doing in 12 months?
Pretty much the same thing that I do right now. So almost a year ago, I quit my regular job to really make something great out of this project me and Adam created. I will be working full time with making more music.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Who were sort of the role models? I know you got Blink 182 and those people, but was there any sort of mentors or role models that really helped you in your career to sort of shape it and that kind of thing?
Actually, I've got a lot of great help from my record label, and the guy called John, who owns the record label. He's done a lot for me, and he was really supportive during the grief. But otherwise, you know, it's Adam that really taught me everything from the beginning. He taught me how to record a song. So yeah, I owe him everything for where I'm today. So
yeah, beautiful, fantastic, man.
Yeah.
What's the most important piece of advice anyone's ever given you?
Do what you love. Do those things you really feel passionate about. Don't try to chase the money. Do what you love. The rest will come naturally.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Great advice. Is there a significant sort of quote, or is there a saying that you live your life by?
No, not really. I don't have any quote. But something I do think of a lot is that I really live from day to day. I don't try to plan as much. And if somebody asked me, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I would never be able to answer that. Not even 5 years, maybe 1 year. That's as far as I can see. But I take every day as it comes. And
Beautiful. So what do you think holds people back from achieving their goals? What's one thing that you see people being held back? What's their problem?
I think maybe like the fear of not be successful or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Like but I think you need to make a lot of mistakes, otherwise you don't learn anything new, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of people are afraid to make mistakes. Just do what you love and make mistakes on the way.
Yep, for sure. And so if some young kid who wanted to get into the music industry, a bit like yourself, came along and said, look, I've got a bit of fear, I'm a bit low in confidence, what kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think I actually had a guy pretty much ask the same question a couple of weeks ago. And what I told him was that just go by your own ears and write the music that you feel is satisfying to your ears, and go from there. Don't try to just make a copy of something else. Just go by your ear, and if you think it sounds good, probably somebody else will think the same.
Yeah, great advice. Just follow your instincts, really.
Yeah.
And don't try and copy other people. Just be yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it, mate. So look, finally, Oscar, I won't hold you up too long. If you could go back in time and speak to the 20-year-old Oscar, what advice would you give yourself?
I would probably just tell him that it's okay to be yourself. Everything will work out. You have nothing to fear. And you are perfectly good as you are.
Yep, love it. Fantastic. Yeah. Beautiful. Now, if people want to get in touch with you or find your music, how do they do that?
Well, they can find me on Instagram or Facebook. They can type in U137 Music and they will find me there. And listen to my music on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. And we'll have some, I'll put all your links down below in the show notes of the podcast
cool.
as well. So
cool.
You can contact you there. Have you ever been to Australia?
No, I haven't. My older brother been backpacking for a year over there, but I haven't been there.
Really?
I really want to go there. Yeah, I've heard a lot of great stuff. Yeah. And they're very friendly people, they say also.
Absolutely. No, we'll come over and I'll take you down the beach, get your surfboard and stuff, and we'll look after
Absolutely.
you. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah. After this pandemic, I will definitely try to go there.
Yeah, for sure. Fantastic. So have you got? You don't really do any sort of gigs as such, do you?
No, this is not a live music project. It's just a studio project, so to speak. So no live gigs that I know of for now. Maybe in the future I gather some guys and make a show or two.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, Oscar, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show here. It's just, like I say, I want to get you on here for a while. I wish you all the very best with your music. It's fantastic. And if I get the go-ahead from your record company, we'll play Adam Forever as we sort of sign off here today, because it's just such a beautiful song and people need to hear it. A lot of people in Australia probably haven't heard your music, and they need to. In fact, my brother's a DJ, and I sent him some of your music the other day, and he just loves it. He said, "Yep,
cool."
So it's great. So
I'm really glad to hear.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you.
I might have you on again in say 12 months' time when Chapter 3's up and running and out there. So yeah,
absolutely. Terrific. I would love to.
Great. Thanks, Oscar. All the best, man.
Yeah, same to you, man.
How good is that? Adam Forever. Beautiful song, U137. Oscar, really appreciate your time. And also a big shout out to Deep Elm Records for giving me permission to play that track. Really appreciate it, John. Thank you. Go and check out Oscar's music, U137. Just do a Google search. You'll see him everywhere over the internet. The music's amazing. Go and check him out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all those places where great music is played, and you'll find his music. Also, there are links down below in the show notes. Had an absolute ball. And Oscar, Australian beaches are waiting for you for when you come over. So I'll look forward to seeing you over in Australia at some stage. You got to get here, man. Thanks again. Thanks for listening, everybody. Really appreciate it. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow.